Hey parents, happy Teenager Tuesday. Teenager Tuesday, week three of Lost in Translation, where we are talking about communication between parent, guardian, adult, and teenager, middle schooler, high schooler, and what to do with that. If you haven't yet, go back and listen to the first two episodes where we kind of really started this conversation going last week with some tips on breaking the ice, ending with this question on what if a parent says, well, I've tried this stuff. What do I do if my teen just does not talk? First off, we've said this last week, but I want to say it again. Keep trying. Keep trying. It is worth it. It is worth it. It is worth it because the communication between the two of you leads to connection. And that's the thing that you care about as a parent. You're not like, I wish they would just talk to me because you want to talk to somebody else. You want to connect with your middle schooler and high schooler. And you're probably nervous that if it's not there, you're probably nervous that, oh my gosh, am I ever going to get this back? How long is it going to feel like this? And so lean into maybe some of these tips. Maybe as you listen to this, it sparks something else. There was maybe your kid just is really, really bad at talking and they're learning how to talk, which we'll talk about. But there's a Jewish proverb that I like, and it says, a mother understands what a child does not say, which I think is very cool. Yeah. Sweet. Yeah. And then it also says, and a father says, huh? No, I'm kidding. That was just a joke. It doesn't actually say that. Yeah. Can we understand what our teenagers are needing when they're not saying something yes, and then how can we put that in towards and articulate that so that we can better connect with our teenagers? Yeah. Now, if they're just like, I'm not talking, one part of that might be because them, like, honestly, a lot of us adults, we're addicted to these dopamine hits from music and screens. Yeah. There's mixed reviews on the no cell phones in Texas in schools. I'm kind of a fan. I think I don't have a teenager in school. Yeah. But there's so many teenagers that always have an AirPod in. Yep. And it's like that. Man, the level of dopamine that we're having our brains get used to is. I do think long term it can be dangerous. Yeah. Much less like staring at a screen time, and that over time. It makes it more and more difficult to connect with people if when you're around people, you're not connecting to people, Yeah. It's like, oh, I'm here. I go to youth group, but I don't talk to anyone, and I put headphones in, and that kind of stuff. And what do you do with that? Number one, help them learn to be bored. Me and Elijah just did a series on boredom, and you can go back and listen to that. And we have a resource. We're going to format those podcasts into a resource and put it on the parent resource page. That is hopefellowship.net/parent resources. Help them be bored. There's multiple types of boredom. Something Elijah said was active boredom. It's you're bored, so you want to do something, so you're doing something that's aimless, pointless. But you're still bored. There's searching boredom. It's you're restless. You're trying to find something to do. Indifferent. You're kind of relaxing. You're relaxing, laying by the beach, which is nice. It sounds peaceful, but too much of that becomes apathy, Yeah. Which also apathetic boredom is when you feel helpless and down. It's like I'm bored, but I'm helpless. I don't know what to do with that. So learning to be bored, I do think it's a skill, and I do think it's applicable, and a lot of peace comes into your adult life when you can be Psalms 46:10 still and know that I am God. So that's number one.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, and then number two is listening well. Which for me, with my daughter, I think part of the challenge with this is like there are some days where she doesn't want to talk at all. And then there are some days where she basically doesn't stop talking. And you kind of never know which one you're going to get. So you don't know when you maybe pick your kid up from school, like what kind of mood they're going to be in, how talkative they're going to be that day. So part of it is just paying attention to where they're at too. And then also, I think, like really prioritizing that, because if I might have planned on like, I'm going to do this and this after we get home from school, but then I can tell she's in a mood where she's really needing to talk, I have to be willing to like set aside what I was doing, because even if I make her wait 15 minutes, she might not still want to talk anymore. So just to show them that we're willing to stop and listen to them, I think makes a big difference. Paying attention to body language in our face. I think I mentioned in the last episode that I have to fix my face a lot sometimes when we're talking. Actually, my daughter has said that one of the reasons why she sometimes doesn't want to tell me things is because I have this certain face that I make when it's like something that I'm not crazy about that she's telling me or something like that. I have this certain mom face apparently that I make, and that is actually something that like really bothers her. And so I'm trying not to make the face anymore.
And I will say she communicated that, which is a big deal. You know? And then it's up to us as the adult. Do I listen to this, or do I just like, you're wrong?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Like, well, this is my face, and I'm gonna do what I want.
Yeah, that's good.
So
that's good. Paying attention to that body language.
Yeah. And then something that I just think helps me is when I remember that like we as the parents are her safe space. So sometimes when it's like all the feelings coming out, not always in the best way, and they're directed towards us, it's because at school they're like always kind of on high alert. They're like trying to present this certain self to all the friends around them and holding in all these other emotions and their stress and stuff. And so sometimes I think when they get home, it's like they just unload everything on their parents. And there's a balance between understanding that and also helping them see how to be respectful. But I think it helps if we sometimes know this is actually like a normal thing, that all of this is coming out because she feels safe right now.
Oh, yeah. No, that's good. I like that. Number 3 sounds cliche, because it is, and cliches are often true, is be there because they notice. I saw this Facebook, there's a bunch of those videos. I saw one on Facebook that, which that's how you know I'm in upper 30s now.
Yeah.
Of like, I'm referencing Facebook still. Yeah. Anyways, I saw a video on Facebook where there was there were all these kids, and the one kid was looking around, and he was like on this play thing, or he was in a play and looking around, and as soon as he saw his parents, went beaming smile, ear to ear, smiling, and I don't think that goes away as teenagers, as middle schoolers, high schoolers. The expression of that maybe is not as well received, but man, we all remember people showing up for us and people going to our plays, going to all of the things. I remember like my youth pastor being at stuff. I remember all the games my mom was at. I also remember stuff that my dad wasn't at. Yeah. Like you remember that, be present, be present in common spaces in the house. Like as best as you can. I like a common space that everybody does stuff in our house versus like, let's make our rooms the more comfortable place, and then we're all just like, we're roommates, but we're not family, we're not connected, So anything, school, anywhere that you can, just keep showing up. Number 4, we talked about this a bunch in the last episode, so I won't hound this, but craft an experience, just do something. Do something, it will help. We talked about going for a car ride, involve them in taxes. Rock climbing, maybe.
Wow.
We talked about hobbies that they like, trying new restaurants, just going for a walk. That helps me and Kelsey. Sometimes we just go for a walk in the morning on a Saturday or something like that. Benjamin Franklin once said, tell me and I'll forget, teach me and I may remember, but involve me and I learn. And let's involve them in these experiences, and they're much more likely to learn something that we're hoping to teach them. So, yeah.
That's good. And then the last one for today is to don't only tell them what to do, but let them think through it. So I think especially if they're used to us always just telling them exactly what to do, they're going to just shut down when we start talking because that's what they're expecting. So trying things like saying, I know you can do this because I have seen you do this thing before. Don't forget you have managed your school and your sports and everything before, so you can do it again. And then asking questions like, if you were me, what advice would you give? Or I have asked, how can I help you? Or what would help you in this situation? And then sometimes it's good to just tell them it's up to you. If it's a thing where you're okay either way, like let them take that to be a time that they can practice making their own decision.
Yeah, and sometimes it's best not to give them advice on that of like, up to you. The book, I've referenced it a few times, but the book, Biting the Hand That Feeds You, Biting the Hand That Feeds You. I might be saying that wrong. It's a parenting book on handing off autonomy.
Okay.
And it's a really, really, really good read that's very practical at all of the different stages of how do I hand off decision-making skills and then helping them evaluate that, but they get to make the decision, and then we talk about it after. Biting the hand that feeds you.
Is that it?
No. Oh, my goodness. Feeding the Mouth That Bites You.
Okay.
Feeding the Mouth That Bites You by Kenneth Wilgus. Kenneth
All right.
Wilgus. Feeding the Mouth That Bites You. There you go. Parents, we got one more episode on Lost in Translation for now. You can do this. You're not alone. God is with you, and so are we. Have a great week.